Ms. McMillan, what you're telling me the landlord told you is not what the landlord's agent is telling me in court. And that's going to cause a problem and an outcome today. Mr. Dale,
Absolutely. Yes, I've just spoken to him last night. I don't mean to interrupt. I
but
do
he's not
apologize.
here. Do I have someone here on behalf of the plaintiff, Ajib?
Yes, ma'am. This is Reem Adam. I'm the real estate agent on behalf of the landlord.
Fantastic. Good afternoon, Ms. Adam. All right, and do I have someone here first on behalf of Jennifer McMillan?
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Good afternoon, Ms. McMillan.
Good afternoon.
And is Ben McMillan here?
Yes, ma'am. This is my father, Ben McMillan.
All right, good afternoon to you both.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Mr. Dan, please tell me why this case has been filed.
Yes, ma'am. This is for non-payment for the rent for 2 months, the month of April and month of May.
All right. How much is the monthly rent?
$2,000 a month.
And is the defendant responsible for the entire portion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You said it was April and May. When was the notice to vacate given?
So she was behind her payment since she moved to the house. And the landlord asked me to give the notice since January. It was January 11 of 2026. And she was trying to coordinate to do the payment, but she didn't. And we are now at the end of May, and we still didn't receive the rent for the month of May and the month of April, which is total $4,000.
All right. So, Ms. Adam, you said that she had been behind on the rent. She'd been late paying before that?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. And so was a notice to vacate given in April?
It was given in January 11. And then the landlord asked me to send another notice in the mail. That was in April 1st.
April 1st. That was a notice in the mail. And what did that notice say?
The same notice we sent it before, but it was sent in the mail this time, not hanging on the door.
Yeah, I walked out here for a minute.
All right. I see a notice to vacate, non-payment of rent. So you took the same exact one from January and just rebuilt it?
I'm sorry?
So the notice that you sent April 1st is literally just the photocopied one from January and you just mailed it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
There was no update to it at all?
No.
And do I need to wait for you to call on me, ma'am, to
Yes,
say
McMillan. Yes,
Okay.
McMillan.
Yes, ma'am.
The plaintiff has to establish a case first. Otherwise, the defendant needs to say nothing at all.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Ms. Adam, the one that you sent in April, you said that was mailed?
Yes, ma'am. That was mailed to her.
How was the one in January sent?
And the one from January 11, I went there to put it on her door.
Did you put it on her door? Or did you hand it to her?
Yes, I put it on her door, but I think she saw it because she contacted the owner and she explained her situation for non-payment.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, Ms. McMillan. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Let me ask you a few questions, and then I'll definitely want to hear anything you want to share with me. My first question is always just let's see if the numbers are right. Is the monthly rent $2,000?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct. Yes.
All right. And are April and May, do they remain unpaid?
April and May do remain unpaid, but I have had the money. April, he said that the owner was going to give me he was going to let that go for now and put it at the end of the lease, and that we could just make a payment arrangement for that. He wasn't worried about that for April's rent. But May, I've had May's rent since the beginning, but I'm using a company called Flex that pays, basically they send the full, payment at the beginning of the month. And I just split my portion up into 2 payments. Well, they had the amount pending coming out of my account, but they didn't send it to him. And I didn't know this. And on the 8th of the month, the owner contacted me and said that he hadn't received rent. And, I wasn't even aware of the technical issue. So I called the company Flex.
She's trying to explain this as a payment glitch, but here's the issue. Rent isn't considered paid until the landlord actually receives it. Saying the app messed up doesn't protect you in court. And right now, she's admitting the money never made it. Legally, eviction for non-payment is very straightforward. The court only cares about one thing. Was rent paid on time, yes or no? Intent doesn't matter. Technical issues don't matter. If the landlord didn't get paid, the case is already leaning their way. Now watch what happens when her version of events collides with what the landlord side is saying. That's where this starts to fall apart.
And said, hey, what's going on? The money's pending. It's, been withdrawn out of my account, but you haven't sent it to the owner. And they basically said that it could take up to 10 business days. And I'm like, that's not acceptable, you know? So I had them refund the money back to the account, and I've been in contact with the owner since, and I did let him know, I have your money. How can I send it to you? And he has told me to wait until today to take care of that. So it's technically just the 2,000 for now. And he said that he was fine with working out the payment arrangement with the 2,000 that was behind for April.
Ms. McMillan, what you're telling me the landlord told you is not what the landlord's agent is telling me in court. And that's going to cause a problem and an outcome today. Mr.
Absolutely. Yes. I've just spoken to him last night. I don't mean to interrupt.
But he's not here to think, Ms. McMillan. I don't disbelieve you, but he's not here to say that. His representative is, and she is authorized to be in court. So, Mr.
Yes,
Dan,
ma'am.
my question for you is, when's the last time you spoke to the landlord? Ms. Adam?
Hello? Yes, sorry.
Yeah, hi. When's the last time you spoke to Mr. Ajib about this case?
Okay, we spoke yesterday.
When?
Night. Yesterday night, we spoke, me and Miss Amanda, and then she mentioned she didn't receive the rent for April and the rent for May. And she has a mortgage on her house, and she already behind her mortgage too.
Ms. McMillan, Ms. Adam is saying that the landlord wishes to proceed.
I'm not sure if, yeah, I just spoke to him just earlier, and he said he was.
I'm getting confused because
I know.
the plaintiff's name is a female name and you're referring to a him, Ms.
I'm
McMillan.
assuming
I
it's
think Ms. Jennifer, she's talking to her husband, my client husband.
Oh, I can't do anything about that because the petition's name isn't Amanda.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
thought he was the owner. I wasn't aware it was under a
Both of them the owner, but the contract under Amanda Ajib, wife.
I've never spoken to him, Amanda. Unfortunately, I've only spoken to her husband, which I thought was the owner this whole time. But we just spoke maybe 2 hours ago, and he said, "I'm fine with you staying, Jennifer." He said, "I said I have the money to pay you."
Here's the problem, Ms. McMillan. Your lease is with Amanda. With respect, only have communications with her. Because I don't know who this guy is who's talking to it, and he seems to be telling you one thing, and yet the representative for your titled landlord is saying she wants to evict you and she wants all the money.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a confusion, but it does not stop the case from going. You absolutely have a right to appeal, and that might be something you wish to contact legal aid about, or to again, reach out to whoever it is you've been speaking to. Perhaps husband and wife aren't communicating properly. I don't know. That I'm not getting involved in some husband and wife's discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me give you both some final information, and Ms. McMillan, then you can certainly go forth and reach back out to whoever you've been speaking to. It may be that the landlords now desire to do something different. And Ms. Adam, you might very well have spoken to Ms. Ajib, and there may be additional communications ongoing, right? So it may be that everyone is correct in what they currently know to be true. And then you may all discover something a little different this evening or tomorrow. All right. So here's what I can give you legally, what's been established and what the court can do. Today, the court would be able to find in favor of the plaintiff. There's really no dispute that rent remains unpaid. There is perhaps a confusion about whether it is all still owed or whether it can still be paid and therefore this eviction essentially set aside, right? But for April and May, the court would award the rent and it's at $2,000. For May, though, I would prorate it. So for the month of May, it's actually going to be $1,806. So the judgment today would be $3,806 plus the cost of court, okay? Either party can appeal. I put the appeal bond at $2,000. That's 1 month of rent because we're only dealing with 2 months right now.
The judge just laid it out cleanly. An unpaid rent is undisputed, so legally the landlord wins today. That's the foundation of this entire case. Everything else, the confusion, the conversations, the app issue, none of that overrides the fact that April and May weren't paid. What's interesting is the judge also leaves a door open. That 5-day window is huge. It means this isn't fully locked in yet. If the landlord agrees, this eviction can still be undone. That's the court balancing strict rules with practical resolution. But make no mistake, this is already a judgment against her. What happens next depends entirely on whether the landlord is willing to work with her and whether those conversations she mentioned were ever real.
Okay.
Ms. Ajib, Ms. McMillan, or Ms. Adam on behalf of Ms. Ajib, either party can appeal, and you have up to 5 days to do that beginning tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 1. It is 5 calendar days. Okay, we will automatically send both parties that information. Ms. McMillan and Ms. Adam, for you as well, If the parties negotiate tonight, tomorrow, day after, anywhere before the end of the 5th day, and the landlord notifies me in writing that they wish to set this aside or not have it become permanent, it can still be, I guess essentially we can vacate the judgment, but only if the landlord notifies me before the end of the 5th day. If they call me on day 8, it's too late. Can't do nothing about it, right? If parties appeal, then the case moves forward to a new court and y'all can still negotiate and do whatever you want. Maybe settle then, maybe it goes to a new judge. Beyond that, it's just a different situation then, okay? So to help you understand what your best options are for your particular fact pattern, I'd say please contact any of those legal aid providers that we highlighted or any others. You can certainly negotiate with each other. I just give you that I have to hear if something changes within the 5 days.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Any other questions?
Can you just repeat the total amount?
Sure. The amount I calculated is $3,806. That's $2,000 for April and $1,806. That's 28 days of May. And the additional things that you'll see added to that would be the cost of filing. And one last thing I'll share. So Ms. McMillan, Ms. Adam, on behalf of Ms. Ajib, in the eviction hearing, the court in the law only allows for recovery of actual unpaid rent and the filing fees. Per your lease, and I don't know, I'll just highlight that there may be additional things owed. You might owe late fees or utility bills or check fees or something. Those things are still part of the contract and the landlord may ask you to pay them, but they cannot be asked for in the eviction judgment. Those are 2 different kinds of things. All right.
The court ruled in favor of the landlord, $3,806 plus court costs, based on unpaid rent for April and prorated May. That part was never really in doubt. The tenant admitted the rent wasn't received, and in eviction court, that's the ball game. What made this case messy was the communication breakdown. She was talking to the landlord's husband, thinking she had an agreement, while the actual leaseholder, Amanda, moved forward with eviction. Legally, only the person on the lease matters. That confusion cost her. The key takeaway here, always deal directly with the person on your lease, and never assume a payment app equals payment. If the landlord doesn't have the money, you're still exposed. If this breakdown helped you understand what just happened, hit subscribe. We break down real family court cases every week. No sides, just facts. Drop a comment. Should the landlord still work with her after this?